Stuart Cummings, match referee already. Wigan will get this second half underway. Phil Jones with a kick. High into the night air here at Castleford. Danny Orr was underneath it, and Ian Tonks almost made a meal of it, the first tackle, but he held on. And here is John Wells. Runoff is all round him.
Well, they've got to gamble a little bit now of the Tigers. They've got to start throwing what they've got left in the tank at this Wigan defence. It's desperation time. They need to score straight away. Trying to put a bit of doubt into the Wigan players. Because as this match progresses, I think Wigan might just start taking control yet again, like they did late in that first half.
Here's a man who might swing it for them, Michael Smith. But that's the last tackle, and Castleford are trapped deep inside their own half. Danny Orr will put the kick in. And positioned perfectly, Chris Radlinski. The chase, though, from the Tigers is good.
Well, it certainly started very eager, and yet again,
yes,
there's a problem.
Danny Orr is down again, and away goes David Hodgson. Supporters arrive from Newton. Newton is there, beautiful ball round the corner. Phil Jones with the pace, Phil Jones with the try. It was a lovely slip pass from Terry Newton that gave him a clear run to the line. An early strike from the Wigan Warriors, and Phil Jones with his second try of the night.
Oh, sheer quality. Take the opportunity. Did ever so well, didn't he? Oh, lovely play there. David Hodgson made the break. Newton did ever so well too. And he just rubbed salt into the wound. There's a talent, that is for sure. But you can't afford to allow them to run from the dummy half position. First and second markers were asleep. Outstanding offload from Newton. What a game this kid's having.
Yes, fabulous try from Phil Jones, his second of the night, grabbing his opportunity here with both hands. And Frank Endicott, although that is Stuart Raper's unhappy face that we're looking at the moment, his opposite number, Frank Endicott, content this year to give the reserve graders their opportunity whenever they arise. And he's got David Hodgson, he's got Phil Jones, albeit he's 23, and he has got Mark Smith of 19, waiting his opportunity on the bench. So there might be stars twinkling at the JJB Stadium this year, but there are some outstanding youngsters coming through as well. Jones to try and add the extras, and he has missed with the conversion. So a little blemish on his record, but for all of that, it's 18 points to 2, Wigan.
Well, he's a try scorer, but it was made by the winger David Hodgson. Very poor defensive play, though. If you're going to be a marker at the play of the ball, you've got to nail the opponent. And nice little bit of skill to evade Michael Eager. Well, he certainly does not lack confidence, that is for sure. We saw that when he made that magnificent 60-metre break to score in the corner in the first half.
Danny Orr starts, he's playing through the pain barrier. Let's get half-time news. Bill?
Well, Eddie, that try is a hammer blow for the Castleford Tigers and their coach, Stuart Raper, because he was looking to them for a solid start to this second half at least, just a bit of composure to settle things down, although they've got the ball back courtesy of that Wigan mistake. But it's not been a good night so far for the Tigers. Danny Orr out there, as we've seen, carrying an elbow injury, and the news of Aaron Raper is another mistake, gives Wigan possession, is that Aaron Raper has dislocated his elbow. He has had that reset in the medical room here, a very painful process, but Raper will not be coming back out. Frank Endicott, plenty to smile about for his side, and he'll be happy with the way they've started this second half, looking for a more disciplined approach from his side in the second 40 minutes. Very disappointed with the indiscipline that saw them concede plenty of penalties.
Terry O'Connor has got blood from just under the ear, so he has to make his way to the side to be patched up. Neil Cowie comes on in his stead. Prop forward for prop forward.
Well, it wasn't surprising what Bill said from the sidelines there in regards to the coach, Frank Endicott, making sure that their discipline was good, because they certainly will need it when they come to the crunch games. They've got to ensure that they don't get sucked into an arm wrestle on each game. They've got so much talent out there.
And there is a crunch game coming up next week against Leeds at the JJB, a match you'll be able to see with us live on Sky Sports. What are Andy Farrell's prospects, I wonder, of playing in this massive match next Friday, which you can see live on Sky Sports 3? I think Bill's been checking it out.
Well, that's right, Eddie. Andy Farrell will not be coming back for the second half. He did get a knee in the ribs in the first 40 minutes and is sitting out the second half. And I think with that in mind, that they don't really want to run the risk of Farrell picking up a further injury or aggravating that injury with that Leeds game coming up.
Beautiful tackle there, you can see from Danny Orr, who's he's been in the wars himself. There's the Wigan skipper, Andrew Farrell.
Looks like he's been in the wars as well.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough game out there, that is for sure.
Here's Michael Smith for Castleford. Had a stint here, didn't really settle, went off, and he actually played with one of the great old stalwarts of the Castleford club, Lee Crooks, over at York, with York Wasps, and came back just a few weeks ago to have another crack at Super League. And certainly when he came on for the injured Raper in that first half, he rattled a few cages, no doubt about that. Here's Nathan Sykes now. Castleford desperate for a try.
Well, the one thing that is for sure, the Tigers will not throw the towel in. They don't know that word down here.
I think over the top, it was easy in the end, despite the weight of numbers against him. For David Hodgson. Radzinski just can't get away from Sykes.
Well, the message now for Wigan is to just play basic football, not be too fancy, work out good field position and then get the kick and chase. Surely they must realise that this Castleford side, who had to work overtime in defence in the first half, they'll tire.
Yes, a massive amount of tackling Castleford had to do. Renoff, though, has dropped the ball, and Gareth Hanford has got it back for Castleford. So can they get something from this attack? Danny Orr has tried as hard as anybody, and he finds Shaw. Shaw was almost through Betts. Barry John Mather at dummy half. Lennon gives it to Smith again. Smith hits and turns. Where's the support? Well, he tried to get it away. He did try to get it away, but it was impossible, really.
An impossible mission, really.
He's got the penalty, though. It's Vowles! Vowles over! Vowles over the line. They took a quick penalty. They got the penalty for stealing the ball, and Vowles fooled everybody. Really took a quick tap there, had Wigan on the back foot, and the man who's got off his sickbed to play tonight, Adrian Vowles. He was asked by Stuart Raper this morning at 11, was he fit? And Adrian Vowles, as he has done so often over the past 3 or 4 years, stuck his hand up and said he'd go out there and play against Wigan, and he's got his reward.
Good skipper's knock there. Wigan were caught, Cowie had his back to turn to them. Oh, that's a wonderful effort there by the Castleford skipper. They really needed that. That is sheer skill. Wonderful try. Well, we said the Tigers wouldn't throw the towel in. They haven't. They bounced back.
So, Danny Orr, 1 from 1, and that's 2 from 2. And that's just reward for the Tigers. 18-8. Wigan are doing their best here to slow Castleford down. The Tigers on a roll. Mike Smith offloads again. Mark Lennon on to Hanford. Darren Shaw. Danny Orr. Oh,
another mistake.
Well, the error count is mounting for Castleford.
It's a simple basic pass that was put to ground yet again. The big question I have to pose it, Eddie, is the fact that surely these Tigers will tire and tire. They've really had to work overtime.
They have. We saw in the stats at half-time how much more tackling they've done compared to Wigan. It's a testimony to their fitness that we're hitting the hour mark and they're still feverishly hunting the football. Lamb, Stevenson, spinning is Ferner, dumped to the ground is Ferner. It was a good tackle by Dale Fritz. Lamb, long ball, Mather went for the intercept.
They play the knock on.
First one by BJ. Right, one that way, one that way.
Well, it was just a whisker away, wasn't he? He read it well and had the opportunity. It was virtually in his hands. It just brushed the fingertips. They wouldn't have caught him.
Yes, he won honours with Wigan in his time, and he nearly pinched that ball. This is Dennis Betts, who has won just about every honour in the game. Terry O'Connor's dumped to the ground. Mark Smith, the dummy half. Lamb, Phil Jones. Renouf hits the line. Done a good job so far tonight on Renouf. This is David Ferner. Slipped the pass to Mark Smith. Wonderful hands. Great defence.
Hands out, Adrian, hands out.
Mark Smith again. Wide it goes to Lamb. Here's Ferner. So close. Great tackle it was by Shaw, first of all, an ankle tap. Mark Smith, Lamb delays, forward.
He's picked it out well. There was little doubt as well. He went for the power play. It's on the last. Well, he's trying his damnedest, isn't he? And he just delayed it, did Lamb. He's trying to get this big Wigan machine into motion. It has been a real stop-start affair by the Warriors in the second half.
That's two.
62 minutes on the watch. Castleford 8, Wigan 18. Who is your man of the match? 09009 1010 13 in the UK. Republic of Ireland viewers 1550 92 35 56. Vote now. Prize is a couple of grand final tickets for Old Trafford October the 13th this year, when Tetley's Super League reaches a deafening crescendo at the Theatre of Dreams. All you have to do to book an early place is agree with Steve-O and Phil Clark's choice of man of the match. And there are a few candidates out there on both sides.
Oh, that's a beautiful kick there by Danny Orr. Is the chase up to it? It appears to be.
Mike Smith again leading the way. Mark Lennon was hunting Radlinski as well. Smith got him though. This is Johnson.
That's great defence. They're fired up now. And their skipper, Adrian Vowles, is shouting at his charges, come on, get back into this match.
And it was his try that gave Castleford hope in this second half.
But what an effort. He has not trained with the team all week. He's been in bed. He gets up this morning and produces an effort like what we've seen. He's been absolutely outstanding.
Lamb is grounded on halfway by Hanford. It's the last tackle. Wigan having difficulty getting over the halfway line. They do here courtesy of the boot of Jones, but that will come back to the 20-metre mark. So 63.5 minutes gone. Wonder what it looks like pitch side. Is pretty exciting up here, Phil. What about down there?
Well, you're right. You talked about Adrian Vowles. They don't give you the Man of Steel award without having some character. His try certainly got the Castleford team back into the hunt. And whatever the outcome of the game, I think Stuart Raper will be delighted with the development of Danny Orr, playing, as you say, out there injured, but inspirational and orchestrating any chances that Castleford might create. Although they've come up with a mistake, and that's straightened the put Wigan back on the attack.
Yes, it was Michael Eager who had the ball stripped from him by Adrian Lamb. He actually had lost it before the tackle was made. That's a great hit on Stevenson. Here is now O'Connor, and Dale Fritz was the man who got the hit in on Francis Stevenson. What a tackle from him. But this is a good opportunity for Wigan. Can they make something of it? Jones wants a hat-trick. He's going to get it. Jones gets 3. Talk about grab your opportunities with both hands. Phil Jones, the defence just melted away. And it was the mistake from Eager on this side of the field that gave Wigan the possession and the opportunity. And Stuart Raper will be ruining the mistakes his men have made. But Phil Jones gets the hat-trick.
Well, the Warriors have had an early Christmas, haven't they? The amount of possession that Castleford has filled up, as you mentioned, Eager's mistake gave them the opportunity. And it took something special to breach this Castleford defence, which has really lifted in the second half. But this is skill yet again. He'll remember this hat-trick for a long, long time. He's going to enjoy this. and he's not done yet. Look at the talent there. That was a beautiful delay. Looked as though he's going to throw the dummy, just roll the ball across his chest, saw the opportunity and had the pace.
Phil Jones with the hat-trick. Matthew Johns out injured. Matthew who? Terrific night for Phil Jones. Other clubs would have missed a man of Matthew Johns' calibre, but Wigan have replaced him with a hat-trick hero who not only scores tries but kicks goals. Phil Jones, Wigan 24, Castleford 8. Vowles still. Good ball round the corner. Lennon off the deck. Hanford keeping it alive brilliantly. Oh, here's Gay. Here is a chance. Oh, and Tonks just hauled down and he lost it.
He's trying to pass the ball. He's trying to pass the ball.
Ian Tonks was so close.
It deserved a try. Outstanding passage of play. He was desperately trying to offload. You could see Adrian Vowles on the ground in the background. Well, this has been a courageous effort.
Vowles limping to the sideline. Well, Stuart Raper didn't know whether he would last a half, an hour, or what he would last after his flu this week. It has been a hero's effort from his captain.
He's given it all. Stuart Raper, although disappointed with the scoreline, he knows that this has been a wonderful, courageous display. And you've got to point at the individual brilliance that's got Wigan out of the mire, so to speak.
And again, BJ! Here, Mike, wait.
Lamb at dummy half. Cowie.
Wigan just content now to drive the ball through. No frills.
Here's Horton, surrounded by 3 orange jerseys.
Oh, wait, Mike, wait for his spot.
There's just less than 7 minutes to go here. Mark Smith.
Marcus square.
Last one, the tackle was on Terry Newton. Here's Adrian Lamb, who'll punch the ball over the top. Turning Wells around, and Radlinski's after him. Radlinski, well, he got to him, but that was good play from young John Wells. He got back over the try line and into the field of play.
Great effort, but it was a wonderful kick. Well weighted, it's got to be a penalty, interfering at the play of the ball. Quick tap, John Mothers away. No, he won't have any of it, the referee.
No, he made a mess of it, did Barry John. He tried to take a quick tap penalty. Watch, the penalty is given for all that. Barry John Mather took a quick one and dropped it. It's head and feet to Wigan at the scrum. It's been that sort of a night for Castleford, hasn't it?
It can be cruel at times.
Lamb from the base of the scrum. There's Johnson.
Ooh, a big grab from Eager.
It was legal, according to the referee. Cowie on the charge. Eager again.
Stand back.
Oh,
Okay.
Cowie. I think he lunged the elbow in there to Teagan.
This is Ferner.
3, let him up.
Mark Smith's at dummy half. Gives it width to Lamb. Lamb stabs the ball in goal. Wells is there. And Wells, well, he could have taken the soft option and shoveled the ball dead, but instead he's tackled in the in-goal area. It's a dropout from underneath the Castleford Tigers posts. Dennis Betts is on the sideline, and alongside him, William Arthur.
Dennis, that shiner on the side of your face just shows what a tough game.
Well, we seem to have lost
I think
the
we
microphone.
stall out.
Oh, there he is.
8 points for them shows what we're all about this year. We're aiming to be as best defensively as we possibly can, and sometimes that means putting your body on the line a little bit more than a goal.
We're under no illusions coming here. It was always going to be this sort of game, wasn't it?
Yeah, great for the last couple of years they've been there.
I think Norman Collier has set up that microphone.
What's his first name, Hanford? What's his first
Never
name?
mind. We'll get Dennis maybe later on if we have time. This is Gary Connolly.
3, stand up.
I know Castleford is famous for its pits.
Adrian Lamb gives it to Radlinski, eager again. In the dream team, the mythical dream team last year, but there's nothing mythical about these tackles that Michael Eager gets in. Lamb once more, short ball, Horton charging through, held up just short. Mark Smith, Lamb once again, little kick again, touchdown this time, but by who? It's a decision for the video referee.
I think Wells got there first.
Has Phil Jones got number 4?
They're all onside. We're happy with that, I think. It's just a ground.
Well, again, we see the kicking qualities of Adrian Lamb come to the fore.
Has Phil Jones got try number 4?
We'll soon find out. Well, I don't think he's got controlled downward pressure on there. He gets to it first. No, this will be a knock-on. He was so close to his 4th try. He was there. He got there a fraction before Wells, but
I've seen them given.
surely the video ref can't give a try for this. N-O-T-O-Y.
I don't think you've got one wrong this year yet.
I'm on a roll. Well, the one pleasing aspect that I'm sure that Frank Endicott will be looking in the latter part of this game is the ability of Adrian Lamb to take control out there. Besides his kicking game, he's just orchestrated everything out there in the second half. And he's certainly getting into the swing of things. So much talent.
Yes, so much talent. Not only in with the big stars, but also in reserve. And Dean Bell, who did such a fine job with the youngsters at Leeds, his work is starting to bear fruit at Wigan also. They've got a list of them coming through at the JJB Stadium. And we've seen a few of them here tonight. That's good play, though, from Castleford. They're not giving this in, are they? Danny Orr, on it goes to Hanford. He dumps it back. And Connolly all over the back of one man, and a real ferocious challenge. Wigan get it back underneath their own sticks.
They will not go down, will they? I must say there's been some nice touches from the youngster Mark Lennon when he came off the bench.
Hodgson's away. Referee has wiped the tackle count down. Tackled by Gay. This is Adrian Lamb. He ducks underneath Gay and he finds Radlinski.
Tackle 2.
Well, they're out on the feet for this Castleford defence. But they're still trying.
Cowie dumps it back. Mark Smith. Fritz is there.
Marcus square. Marcus. Pull back first, Danny.
Neil Cowie this time. Here's Adrian Lamb. Now, Phil Jones. Denied a 4th try by the video referee, and rightly. Connolly. Lamb. Stevenson. Flicked the ball back. Flicked then to Cowie. On it goes to Ferner.
Forward.
Well, there we go. Forward pass. Referee and touch judge combining. Let's go to the sideline. The Irish captain on St Patrick's Day is Terry O'Connor, and he's with Bill.
Terry, it's a good way to celebrate St Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it's a great day. It's come Castleford and get 2 points, and they've scored 8 points against us, so it seems like we've got all up to now the best defence in the Super League, which we've set out to do.
I think the blood on your neck shows what sort of tough game it's been out there, though.
Oh, that's off Neil Cowie's herd eye, that. No, it's always a tough game. You come to Castleford, and it's always tough. They beat us 3 times in a row in '99, so they're a tough side, and they deserve to be like up there in the top 5. Everyone's reckoning they're going to finish top 5. They could finish 4th.
You got another tough one coming up now, Leeds.
Leeds next Friday at home. Leeds is another one, always tough. They've got a big pack. They've got the centre's just as big as well. But we'll look forward to it. We'll have a day's rest tomorrow, and we'll get back into it Monday.
Thanks, Terry.
Cheers,
Yes, it's all building up nicely to that collision at the JJB Stadium next Friday. Leeds, the visitors. Great kick over the top. That will just wind the clock down from Danny Orr, but it's not a question of winding the clock down for him now. 24-8. The game is gone with half a minute to go. Danny Orr, well, if they struck medals for bravery, he'd get one tonight.
Beautiful kick. I have to agree with you in that department. But it's amazing, all that effort. And no reward, really. You can admire their courage, but once again, the skill factor comes into play.
Last play maybe for Wigan. Can they just add some? Connolly is tackled. That's enough, says the timekeeper. Phil Jones will take the headlines in the morning with his hat-trick, filling in for superstar Matthew Johns. And boy, hasn't he filled in for Frank Endicott. So great win in the end for Wigan. Hard fought though it was, 24 points to 8.